let's do something a little bit special. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. This one's for you. As a mother, you're not just raising children. And if you're a mother who's out there that's building a business, a career, or a household, you aren't just juggling roles. You're building a culture. When we talk about beauty, the world reduces it to appearance. But really, beauty is a mindset. It's discipline. It's strength. It's grace under pressure. It's choosing to show up again and again, whether you feel like it or not. We throw around words like balance, but the strongest women I know, they're not balancing life. They're leading it. There is no such thing as work-life balance. It's a myth. When you're younger, you don't always see it. You don't even understand it. But if you're paying attention now, you realize just how much was being built around you. And to every mother who's listening, thank you.
This is the Clark Connection Podcast, where 12 years of coaching championships meets real-world leadership. Coach Clark broke through at the highest levels. Now he's bringing you the playbook. Every week, real leaders, real wins. Real strategies you can use Monday morning. If you're done with theory and ready for results, this is your show. You in? Let's go!
And welcome to the Clark Connection Podcast. It is great to be with you here. I'm your host, Aaron Clark, aka The Coach. And I want to go ahead and take a moment. Let's do something a little bit special. This episode, it's a special one. Leading up to Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And I want to honor specifically two women in my life. My mother and my wife. You know, today when we talk about beauty, the world reduces it to appearance. But really, beauty is a mindset. It's discipline. It's strength. It's grace under pressure. It's choosing to show up again and again, whether you feel like it or not. You know, it reminds me of the Proverbs 31 woman. A woman who isn't just admired for how she looks, but for how she lives, leads, builds, how she carries the responsibility with wisdom and consistency. And so I've had the ability of seeing that up close. You know, I've had my mother, who legit has only missed like 2 of my events my entire life and has the discernment of Job. And then Dawn, you're the sweetest, most caring individual I know. And believe me, I need that balancing out. And to every mother who's listening out there, this one's for you. Now, I want to take a quick moment and shout out the sponsors who make this possible. The Clark Connection Podcast is powered by Coach Clark Leadership and Development. We help organizations develop leaders who multiply leaders through live training, executive coaching, and cultural strategy. And if you want to grow alongside other serious leaders, join our Leadership Multiplier School community. It is a space built for intentional leadership growth, connection, and accountability. Learn more at coachaclark.com. This episode of the Clark Connection Podcast is proudly brought to you by Hubbard Flooring Studio. Leadership, growth, and success all start with a strong foundation, but the details matter too. Vicki and her team don't just specialize in high-quality flooring. They also offer Hunter Douglas blinds, bringing both function and design together in one place. Whether you're building, renovating, or upgrading a home or business, Hubbard Flooring Studio helps you create a space that reflects quality, intention, and excellence, from the floors you stand on to the light you let in. Now, if you're ready to work with people who care about craftsmanship and getting it right, visit hubbardflooringstudio.com or call 225-924-1000. 1582, Hubbard Flooring Studio, covering you from the ground up. Thank you again for supporting leadership and growth. Now, everybody celebrates moms, but most don't understand what they actually do. We throw around words like balance, but the strongest women I know, they're not balancing life. They're leading it. And whether you realize it or not, a lot of who you are today came from watching that leadership up close. And so I've got 3 different segments that I'm going to go through and talk about today that in honor of our mothers. The first is the first leader that you ever had set the standard. Before leadership had a title, it had a presence. You learned discipline before you understood it. You experienced consistency before you valued it. This wasn't theory. It was modeled daily. Now, that same leadership doesn't stop when life gets bigger. It expands. And so one of the things that my mom always got across and put through to me was treat people the way that you want to be treated. That included how I acted. That included how I talked to other people. I was to always treat them with the same respect that I wanted to have for myself. And Dawn, always looking to find the best in people. And then make sure that they were treated the best. And as we go and look, how does this carry forward? And how does this get past whatever it is that you're teaching? It's going to get passed down to that next generation. You don't rise to what you're told. You rise to what you're consistently shown. So moms, keep showing your children the right thing to do, the right path, and the right way to go. That because right is right, even when nobody's doing it. So keep that up. Now, point number 2. There is no balance. Only priorities that reflect your values. So, what do I mean? Well, we always hear the, work-life balance. And I'm here to tell you, there is no such thing as work-life balance. It's a myth. I don't know who came up with it and who created it, but it just doesn't exist. Not everything can happen at the same time, but the right things do happen consistent. And so you may be thinking, what do I mean? As a mom, oftentimes, you're the first one awake. You're the last one to go to bed. Those late nights, they build the stability in the house that we wish we had all the time. And if you're one of those lucky few, make sure they tell your mom that right now. Thank you for providing that stability for me. Mom, y'all handle a mental load that keeps everything moving. They always worrying and juggling. Well, how does this one get to that activity and what happens over there? And then we've got this scenario that we hadn't even thought about down the road. That your effort to make sure that everything keeps moving and that everybody gets to where they're needing to go. Such a huge thing. And then making the intentional decision to show up where it matters the most. It's about maximizing the moments that matter. Because deep down, you know that your children are watching. They see your commitment. They see you take on that extra responsibility. They see what it looks like to follow through on doing what you said you're going to do. They may not understand it, but they will. As a stylish or a stylist and a hairdresser, my wife never lets us leave the house not looking our absolute best. It's one thing that I know I appreciate. I don't say it all the time, but I appreciate making sure that I look good when I leave the house. And she's got a tall task being the only girl amongst all the boys. I mean, even our dogs are boys. That's a tough task. And no matter how hectic it was, my mother wouldn't allow us to give anything less than our best. If she knew we were capable of an A, she didn't accept an A-. And not everything can be done. But what matters most is always being built. So focus on what matters the most to you and your family. Moms, we appreciate you for doing that for us. We want to take a quick moment to shout out today's premier sponsor, Vicky with Hubbard Flooring Studio. Leadership always starts with a strong foundation, and so does your home or office. Vicky and her team don't just cover floors, they help you step into excellence one plank, tile, or carpet at a time. And now, they are offering Hunter Douglas blinds, giving you the ability to set the tone, control the light, and create the perfect environment to lead from. Hubbard Flooring Studio, where strong foundations and bright visions begin. And point number 3. Discipline isn't taught. It's transferred. Kids don't develop work ethic from instruction. They develop it from exposure. What they see repeatedly becomes normal. You may not realize it, but they're watching this. They see when you show up tired, but you're still executing. When you keep your commitments, even when it's inconvenient. And then managing all these pressures without quitting. It's deeper than habits. It's identity formation. It's what really resides inside of those children. You are the one that makes that happen, okay? As a mother, you're not just raising children. You're shaping how they will handle adversity, approach responsibility, and define discipline. And if you're a mother who's out there that's building a business, a career, or a household, you aren't just juggling roles. You're building a culture. You are the one that's saying what's acceptable, what's expected, and what you repeat is what you will see your children go on to repeat and do. And culture always transfers. It's one of the reasons they say it's so hard to break to be the one that stops that generational curse. Because as children, what we see, it's so foundational. So foundational. And so it's important to know that your work ethic is being watched long before it's understood. that your discipline isn't something you explain. It's something you demonstrate until it sticks. Most of who we are, it came from someone who never needed recognition for showing up and to keep showing up. For the early mornings, the late nights, the weight carried without announcing it, standards that are held, even when we push back, and the consistency that never broke. When you're younger, you don't always see it. You don't even understand it. But if you're paying attention now, you realize just how much was being built around you and inside of you. To my mom, thank you for laying a foundation that I'm still building on today. For taking me and my siblings all over town to all the many different events. For the sacrifice of not pursuing your wants, your dreams, your needs, to help us chase ours. And for being my biggest and longest fan. To Dawn, I see you. Not just for what you do, but for how you do it. For the strength, the discipline, and the consistency you bring into our family every single day. Being the calm in a storm of testosterone. For seeing more in me than sometimes I even see in myself. For placing your ambitions on hold to help make sure we get what we need daily. The boys and I thank you. And we love you. And to every mother who's listening, your impact is deeper than you can see right now. The lessons you're living out, they're going to show up in your children for the rest of your lives. Even when you don't think they notice, they do. We may not tell you how that much that we love you. We do. That your family notices everything you do and sacrifice for us. And for that, we say thank you. And this day isn't about appreciation. It's about recognition. It's about making sure that what you've built in us actually comes through. And remember, you don't have to be great to get started. But you have to get started to be great. So keep leading, keep learning, and keep connecting. And today, make sure you honor the woman who helped shape your leadership. Happy Mother's Day. And I'll see you on the next episode of Clark Connection Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Clark Connection Podcast. If today's episode added value to you, do me a favor, follow the show and share it with someone who needs it. You can connect with me at my website, coachaclark.com, or on social media at Coach A. Clark. All the links are in the description. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep connecting.